Every time you feel the heat of anger or the cold grip of worry, you are essentially handing someone else the keys to your internal kingdom. You are telling the world that your peace is a commodity that can be bought with a single insult or a missed text. But what if your anger isn't a reaction to others, but a secret confession of your own helplessness? Why do you grant mortals the power of gods over your nervous system? Is your worry a form of love, or is it a desperate, failed attempt to control a universe that doesn't even know you're here? Today, we aren't learning how to manage emotions. We are learning how to make them irrelevant. We are going to find the place within you where the world's noise goes to die, and why the ultimate secret to invincibility starts with a funeral for your expectations. The puppet master's illusion. The hidden ego in your rage. Think of the last time someone cut you off in traffic, ignored your message, or spoke to you with a sharpened tongue. Feel that heat rising in your chest, that sudden, violent urge to restore balance, to demand respect, to shout into the void. How dare you? It feels like a pursuit of justice. It feels like strength. But what if your anger is actually a confession? What if that roar is merely the sound of your ego realizing it has no clothes? We treat anger as a primary force, a lightning bolt we throw at the world. But in the quiet level of the psyche, we find that anger is almost always a secondary emotion. It is a bodyguard. It is a mask worn by a much smaller, much more terrified part of you that fears being insignificant. When you get angry, you aren't just reacting to a person. You are reacting to the terrifying possibility that you might not matter as much as you thought. Why do we give a stranger's rudeness the power to rewrite our entire internal narrative? Consider the God complex of worry. We sit in our rooms, replaying conversations, agonizing over what they think of us, or dreading a future we cannot see. We act as though our mental suffering is a form of currency, as if by hurting ourselves enough, we can somehow influence the flow of fate or change the mind of another. It is the ultimate illusion of the puppet master. We believe we are holding the strings of the world, but the strings are actually tied to our own wrists. Every time you worry about another person's judgment, you are engaging in a transference of power. You are handing them the remote control to your nervous system. You build a prison out of their opinions, not realizing that the walls are made of your own thoughts. But here is the paradox, the cold truth that both hurts and heals. Most people aren't even looking at you. They aren't judging your failures or calculating your worth. They are far too busy engaged in their own death theater. They are fighting their own ghosts, nursing their own wounds, and staring into their own mirrors. You are not a protagonist in their play. You are barely a background extra. Does the thought of being invisible make you feel liberated? Or does it make you feel lonely? If you realize that your anger is just a fight with a shadow, the shadow begins to lose its shape. You begin to see that the prison you've been living in has no locks. The door was always open. You stayed inside because you were afraid that if you walked out, there would be no one left to tell you who you are. We have deconstructed the mask. We have seen the ego hiding behind the rage, pretending to be a king when it is really just a frightened child. But if we stop the transference of power, if we stop using our worry as a shield against the chaos, what fills the empty space? We have looked at the illusion of the puppet. Now we must look at the puppet's end, because the real secret to being untouchable isn't about becoming stronger. It's about realizing that there is nothing left to defend. The stage is becoming dark, and the most profound silence is yet to come. The ghost in the crowd. Achieving the freedom of non-existence, we worry because we believe, deep down, carry our names, our reputations, and our social standing as if they were made of stone, destined to endure the ages. But what if this weight, the heavy burden of being someone, is the very thing drowning you? Step into the crowd. Watch the faces blur. To you are a ghost, a flickering shadow in a sea of 8 billion stories. Does that thought tighten your chest with fear, or does it suddenly let you breathe? The Stoics led the iron logic of Epictetus and the weary wisdom of Seneca pointed to a singular truth. All irritation is a child of vanity. We get angry because we think the world owes us a specific kind of recognition. We worry because we believe our self is a monument that must be protected at all costs. But look at the great equalizer. Look at the inevitable end that awaits every king and every beggar, every critic and every victim. In the face of the silence that lasts forever, does the rudeness of a stranger truly carry any weight? Does the judgment of a peer, who will all soon be dust, remain a tragedy? Or does it become something else? It becomes a cosmic joke. When you realize that you are no one, you achieve the state of ataraxia, the imperturbability of the soul. This isn't the coldness of a stone, but the freedom of the wind. A stone can be hit. The wind simply passes through the obstacle. By relinquishing the throne of the self, you stop being a target. If there is no ego to bruise, where can the insult land? If there is no permanent me to protect, what is there to worry about? You have spent your life trying to make the world good so that you could be at peace. You wanted people to be kinder, the future to be certain, and the noise to stop. But look at the paradox. Peace is not found in the world becoming orderly. It is found in the radical act of letting it be exactly as chaotic as it was meant to be. It is the relinquishing of the throne. You stop trying to govern the behavior of others. You stop trying to legislate reality. You accept that people will be small, cruel, and confused. Not because they are your enemies, but because that is the nature of the human animal. Why do you still feel the need to correct the universe? To be a ghost in the crowd is to walk through life with your hands open. You are here, but you are not attached. You observe the anger of others as you would a storm, not as an attack on you, but as a movement of the atmosphere. You have discovered that non-existence, in the social sense, is the only true invincibility. When you are no longer fighting for a seat at the table, you realize the entire room belongs to you. But as you stand in this newfound stillness, as the fire of your anger turns to ash, a final shadow emerges. If you are truly no one, and the world is just a shifting play of light and dark, what remains? If we have stripped away the ego and the worry, what is the core that is left standing in the center of the void? We have found the freedom of the ghost. We have entered the state of the untouchable, but the sun is rising on a different kind of reality. And the most dangerous part of the journey isn't losing your anger. It is discovering what you will do with your newfound power.